Very good afternoon to all. Welcome to another video of Python tutorials. Today we will see that how we can write down a user-defined function in Python. What is a function? Function is a group of statements which perform a particular task. We have already studied that there are two types of functions. One is a user-defined and second is a system-defined. So today in this session we will see that how we can create our own function in Python. So just as it is coming onto your screen, the syntax to define a function starts with def. The first thing is to write def. Then after def we give the name of the function. The rules for naming the function is same as it is for naming the variables. It should start with a character. It cannot have a number in starting. The rules are same as it is for a variable. It should not be a keyword. Then we put a bracket. Within these brackets we can put arguments if we wish to pass arguments. Otherwise there is nothing. We can leave it without arguments. After this we put a colon, and as soon as we enter, again indentation will come into the picture and it will be right indented, and what all statements we are giving will be treated as if they are within the function. Whatever we write now is treated as the body of the function, is treated as the definition of the function. Okay, as long as we remain in this right indentation. For example, I define this function, and by this function I just want to print hi. So this is the purpose of this function, and then I end this function. To end this function, I bring my cursor by pressing a backspace to the left hand side, and this ends the function. So this is how we define a function. I repeat, how do we define? By giving the keyword def, writing the name of the function, then using the brackets. If we don't have to pass any arguments, leave the brackets empty, then colon, then right indentation, then coming back. Now when we want to use this function, how can we use the function? Just by giving the name of the function can be called. The function can be called just by writing the name of the function. So what is this function doing? It is printing hi. It is printing hi. So by this means I have made my own function whose function is to print hi. If I'll execute this, let's see. First I have to save it. Let's save it. If I execute it, what will happen? It will print hi. You can see that what does this function do? It function prints hi. Let me clear this and give it a more clear picture. The function prints hi. So this is a small program where you can know that how do we write a program to define a function, how to use a function. Now there are different varieties also of a function. For example, you want to write a program to add two numbers where you want to pass a number. So when you want to pass an argument, you have to write those arguments within these braces of the definition of the function. But the beauty of Python is that we did not need to give the data type of these variables to which we are passing. Like in other programming language, we have to declare the data type. Over here, there is no need to give the data type because they are created when the value is assigned. So suppose I give two values a comma b. So I just write a comma b, and over here I create another variable which is adding these two, and within the function only I want to print the sum of these two numbers. And now I come out of the function by pressing a backspace. I come out of the function, and now I want to pass two numbers to add these things. So I can pass 2, 3. Now there is another thing in Python, because these variables are not given any data type. If I pass some other type of data also, it can be passed. Only thing is that the operation should be allowed. For example, we can concatenate two strings, so I can pass two strings also over here. I can pass two strings also, because the operation which is done, if you see the highlighted portion, the operation which is done is plus. In case a and b are strings, then this operation will be treated as concatenation. Now as soon as I execute this program, you can see what happens. In the first case it prints hi, When I call this add 2 comma 3, it prints C. When I pass hi fi, it prints hi fi. In case I pass something which is not allowed, then it will give an error. For example, if I add C is equals to A minus B. Now over here, when I am passing hi and phi, they will try to subtract two strings, which is not possible. Then this will result in an error, as you can see in this statement, that it is not possible. The passing of the function value is not giving an error. What is giving an error? This statement on which we are performing the operations on the arguments, that this operation is not allowed. This is giving an error. And this way the same function can be used with integer also, it can be used with floats also, it can be used with anything, as long as the operations which are being performed on the arguments are valid. So just to summarize, we give the keyword def, then we give the name of the function, and then we write down the arguments which we want to pass. In case of arguments, there is no need to tell the data type of the arguments. They are by default taken by the arguments which are being passed. Okay, so over here the arguments are written without any data type, and over here we write down the values, and these values are taken by the arguments which are used in the definition of the function by themselves. So this is how we can use functions in Python.